Right here on your number one, hier's op 90.6, me Darryl Grant, en saam met my in die atelier Klippies, die Ewe Klippies. Hallo Klippies, gaan het met jou?
Middag Darryl, hoe gaan het in? Goeiemiddag gaan jy luisteraars?
Daar sê, en jy het 'n gas saam met jou gebring.
Ja, I'm very pleased to introduce Mr. Yusuf Sattler, nee, that's how you pronounce your surname?
Sattler, that's correct.
Sattler, so...
Almost like in Settler, but not quite.
That's how
Sattler,
he's a phenomenal person
Really?
in the Vaal area.
Fine.
And yeah, we're going to talk about
Ek wou net jou vra, want wat is hierdie, vir mense wat nie weet wat aangaan nie, en daar is baie, want hulle het hulle lewens, they're busy with their lives and everything. Waaroor gaan die hele ding vanmiddag?
we're going to talk, and let's switch over to English, because
Okay.
I think a lot of our guests is going to be English, and
Okay.
it's all about an open cast coal mine, a proposed open cast coal mine that wants to start operating south of Meyerton,
Yes.
north of Vereeniging.
Which is a good thing, more employment for people. I'm playing the devil's advocate over
you're
here.
playing yes.
Isn't it?
Yusuf, we will sort him out now about that.
Well, actually, it's not more employment because
it's not.
What's
Oh,
actually
really?
happening?
Okay.
They're basically taking over the agricultural holdings. There's Ocon Bricks there. There's quite a few small businesses
Okay,
there.
yeah.
So they actually, what happens to those employees
Right.
that are currently there?
Gotcha.
And if they go ahead with the mines, they were talking about 350 at the one mine and 200 at the other mine, and they're going to probably displace about 600 people.
600 people.
Probably, yeah.
Around about.
Just a guesstimate, but I would imagine around about 600 people working in the farmlands.
But employment.
Yeah,
Won't they be able to employ a lot more people? Again, devil's advocate here. Just a little.
Well, actually, they're bringing in 550 of their own, and about
Okay,
600,
so it's not going to be people from the local
600 is
that'll be...
going to lose their jobs.
Jy sien, ek het gedink, dit was ons mense wat daar...
You must remember, open cast mine is very mechanized. So there's equipment doing the job.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of labor, and it's a skilled people it's got a certain skill that needs to drive. It's not your normal car that you drive, those big ones with the big wheels. So you must understand, they will bring their own people here.
All right.
It will not, and I want to reiterate, it will not create employment for our local people where we need it.
Okay, I think that's the winning line, that one. There'll be no employment locally. And when I first heard about this, I thought, but what's the problem? People will be employed from our area. But now, as you've so correctly said...
Well, actually, if you look at it, I'm from the mining background as well.
Yes.
And I worked for many years in the mining industries. And especially at coal mines as well, is highly mechanized. And a lot of, you need, as Clippy said, you need skilled people.
Right.
You need people with certificates and whatever the case may be to drive those TLPs, those drill machines and all that. So you can't simply take a farm labor and say, look, go ahead and drive this mechanized equipment.
Environmentally, what will it mean to the area? Weevil and Spring, I don't mind who says that, but environmentally, it's going to harm the area to a very large degree. How many years, if this happens, will it go on for? Is it years, 5 years, tens of years? Whoever wants to answer.
Let it Yusuf.
Okay, Yusuf?
Okay, well, look, environmentally, as you know, Vaal is highly polluted in terms of, all the industries surrounding
Correct.
us. You've got Cecil, you've got ArcelorMittal. Previously,
Although Cecil will tell you, well, they've seen to that
Yeah.
greatly now, and it's a lot less than what it is.
Yeah, but you look at in Meyerton, you had previously Semanco with those stockpiles. Then you've got the Vaal River that's polluted. Then you've got contamination of borehole water. And this is actually, the mine life is about 30 years that they're talking about.
Okay.
And I think for 30 years, the inhabitants or the residents of Vereeniging and Van der Bijl Park would have to live with this kind of pollution. And I mean, pollution we're talking about from the coal mines perspective is air pollution. You've got degradation of residential properties.
Right.
You've got cracks with the blasting. You've got...
which will affect all the houses in the area. The cracks will appear in the homes. That's also not a good thing.
Darryl, this is the crux of this matter. One need to make a list and say, what is the advantages of this? And who is going to benefit out of this mine?
Okay.
And at the end of the day, it's the owners that going to benefit out of that mine, making money. Because the lifespan of this mine is 30 to 31 years. Now imagine the atmosphere, the noise pollution. There's going to be a proposed conveyor over the R59. Just imagine the impact of this in our region. And that's why we as VBC are normally supporting business.
Yes.
But the impact this will have on the health of the community will be so detrimental that we as an organizer cannot support this.
It'll be a big fat negative in every respect, or is there a rainbow at the end of this somehow?
I think there's more negatives than positives.
Okay.
And I think the only positive that one could look at is maybe perhaps boosting the economy, whether it's going to be done for Lenny's perspective or the economy. But however, we need to consider these are profits before lives and profit before health.
Public hearings, Openbare Verhoor, is that still on? Is that still going?
The public hearings, unfortunately, it was only to certain areas, right? If I take you a step back, previously the public hearings were held with Roshni, Aken Park, Redan, Sikelo, and Mayerton.
Okay.
And we raised this at the scoping report stage last year that Roshni was excluded, and also the timing in terms of the public hearings were not conducive to people who are working. In the areas where they seem to have a lot of resistance, they had it during a weekday where you're not going to get much attendance.
So they stalled, in other words.
Exactly. Well, actually, the scoping is finished. Now with the draft EIA report, they've already held public hearings at 3 places. There was in Aken Park, Mayerton, and in Sikelo. However, there's strong resistance from the Roshni residents is because they did not accede to our request to have a public hearing in Roshni. And they cited reasons as safety and security as...
Safety and security.
Safety and security.
Sounds like the ETOL system that's now well done.
Exactly. So basically we're trying as much as we can to have a public hearing. We hope that at the final EIA stage we will be given that opportunity.
Were these public hearings in respect of, let's say, a draft environmental impact assessment well attended then?
Unfortunately not, as the reason cited.
I had to ask the question.
Prior, but But look, the attendance was poorly attended because in terms of the public, the NEMA, they have to actually publicized quite widely amongst press, media, radio stations. I'm not sure whether 90.6 had an opportunity to...
I haven't written anything because I'm also a copywriter here, and what comes across my desk I kind of know about. I don't recall anything like that.
Okay, so and even though the notices were placed, when you're driving on the R82 towards Vereeniging, it was placed on a farm side against a lamp post or a garage gate, but it wasn't very...
Nothing on the R59?
Well, I'm not sure about the R59. I didn't travel, but on R82, those are basically 2 places that I saw.
Yeah.
But that is, again, a bone of contention, is because I don't think, though they have said they have publicized this widely as possible, but I don't find any evidence of that.
That's it. Okay. Klippies?
Darryl, you must understand, and Yusuf mentioned it, this is predominantly farmland where they want to mine. So this is agricultural land. There are currently productive farms that they want to use now. So the food processing, the food security process is another factor that's really so. And this is why we're doing this awareness, so that people can have more knowledge. And later on, we will give you certain numbers where you can join. We've got a very, very active group where we promote these things. And you guys are basically our first radio interview where we want to just create an awareness for people who are outside. Because whether you are staying in Mayerton or Van der Bou Park, it will have in a certain way an impact on your health that we are sitting here. So this is a widespread awareness of what can happen to us in this area.
When they do this kind of open plan, or open cast mining, do they buy the land from the prospective farmers, or is it leased to them? Well, how does that aspect work?
Well, actually, there's 2 components to this whole transaction. If you look at it in the sense of transaction, there's one, the landowners who are affected by the mere fact that the lands will either be bought off or expropriated, because you must understand that whatever minerals are contained beneath the surface does not belong to the landowner as such, but to the government.
Oh yes, we had legally speaking, and it only extends, I think, a foot or something like that, and after that,
Correct.
It belongs to someone else.
Correct. So from what my understanding, talking to some of the farmers there, especially Mr. Peter Hammond,
Yes.
they're quietly opposed to this whole thing, and they're fighting it quite fiercely in terms of the land going to be lost either through purchase or through expropriation.
We're approaching an election time, as we all know here in South Africa. Will this have any political ramification at the end of the day? Is there a back road from politicians into this who might score from helping or hindering in any way? Maybe an unfair question, but I just thought I'd pop it in there.
Very fair question.
Fine, there we go then. Yes.
You know politicians.
Yeah.
The opportunists lying around there, and I want to put it in open.
Okay.
At this stage, the political world is very silent. Yusuf, are you am I correct? It's very silent. We don't hear a lot.
Yeah.
But this is typical of the politicians. So they are waiting for an opportunity to have the normal benefit out of this development. So we spoke to certain political leaders in Meyerton, and even the mayor, I spoke to him personally.
Yeah.
And I've had him on this radio show several times, and I have greatest respect for Peter Texera.
Yes.
And he said to me, Klippies, all depends on my residents, which is a very nice attitude at this stage. From what we see, our residents are up in arms against it. So hopefully they will support us. Mfuleni most probably be a total different story.
Right.
Because some of the land where the mine's going to be belongs to Mfuleni as well.
Ooh.
So
How
you
much?
understand?
How much of that land? But percentage-wise,
I think from a last inspection of the report is probably about 30 hectares.
30 hectares.
You understand, to be corrected?
Is that big in itself, or not
much.
really?
If you look at the entire mining area, they're talking about 2,547 hectares, right?
Right.
That's going to be affected by mining operations. However, the area to be mined is probably between 1,300 to 1,400 hectares.
There's a lot of money to be made here if they do get this right. This coal that's going to be mined from this, that'll be transported how? Truck? It's definitely not conveyor belt. That'll create more congestion on the roads as well.
Darryl, remember, this fire is not a recent one that started 2-3 weeks ago.
No.
This already started in 2019, where Yusuf and his team really started opposing this mine. And at that stage, they said the mine is for local use. But now, apparently, according to the quality, it's for export market as well.
Oh, the export
Now,
market.
we've got a very functional railway system.
Yes.
And we've got a very functional air system, which so you can imagine those won't work. So most probably they will use our roads again. And our roads are in such a
condition.
a brilliant condition at this stage. It won't have any effect on the roads. You know.
The reason why I'm asking this, if you have a look now, it pays trucking companies a lot of money to transport coal from point A, B to C and back to point A again. So everybody's making money here. And if the railway system is poor in South Africa, I don't know what it is, I speak under correction, but sometimes I don't see trains running for a very long time. Surely someone is making a lot of money or will make a lot of money because it has to be transported, the coal.
That's quite true. Yes, they will make money. The logistics companies would definitely make money. However, I'm not sure whether you've had a look at the last video from one of the media companies with regard to the situation in Richards Bay with the coal dust and the black.
Which was my next question. That dust is terrible.
It's terrible. So you can imagine driving across our roads here and the areas around Alberton, if they do use the R59,
yes.
what's going to actually happen? So yes, it is a concern. You know, on the one side you've got employment opportunities, you've got more money to the logistics company, but on the other hand you've got health issues, you've got pollution issues, you've got the road infrastructure, as we know currently, the road infrastructure is terrible. I mean, you drive on the R82, it's crazy.
Okay.
So with all these potholes, so yeah.
How would this all be beneficial to the local municipality in any way? Will it?
Remember, there will be certain taxes being paid to them and certain rights need to be adhered to. And that's why, remember, this is going up to national government. So the minister at the end of the day needs to sign the approval of this mine. So we need to start now from bottom up to get this thing sorted out. And at the end of the day, we know politicians, Darryl, they will look for a way where they can benefit. And if you look at the structure of this mining company, it's people that used to work at the Department of Mineral.
Who is this mining company? Who are they? Do they have a name?
Okay, so basically the company that's putting, the applicants are Blue Bay Coal, right? And if you take a step back, Blue Bay Coal is owned by Canyon Coal.
Okay.
And if you take a step further back, Canyon Coal is capitalized or owned by Menar Capital. And Menar Capital's shareholder is Mr. Vuslat Bagilio, right? He's a Turkish citizen, and from what we understand, he's now got South African residency. So it's actually financed through Menar Capital via Kenyan Coal and then to Blue Bay Coal.
This sounds like Aaron Brockovich. So many implications all over the way. It's never that one. No, hold on. It could be that. No, wait. It's actually that one. And then that one. Well, is it actually that one? It could be a higher one other than that.
And as Klippies alluded to, there are two directors, I think, on Blue Bay that are ex-DMRE
Okay.
employees.
So what does one do if you are completely opposed to this? You're listening to, nee, ons het dit nie nodig nie. The air is bad in the Vaal Triangle anyway. What does one now do? Where can we approach people like yourselves, good people like yourself, or what?
I think first is all get involved. We will start putting newspaper articles and more regularly on the radio stations, give more information on that. At the end of the day, this is an awareness campaign. We still have a long way to go with this whole thing. There's certain processes that are already been finalized and there's new processes. So we are getting experts in the field out there to support our endeavor. We've started with professors locally here, geologists, water experts,
yes,
giving us information. Remember, and Yusuf helped me out in 1952. There used to be a coal mine there that was flooded. So the assumption is that there still may be equipment and bodies lying there somewhere underneath the water because of the water table. Remember, we've got a huge water table underneath here. So there's a lot of things that's still happening, and we need to create an awareness.
Here's one for both of you. This is, hola, Darryl, long time. It's Lindy Chabangu here. And to Klippies, hi to Klippies as well, and also Yusuf there. She says hi. She says, air pollution is one thing, but also remember, noise pollution of the schools around in the area will be affected, and more importantly, Redun is a heritage site.
That's correct.
As well.
That's it. You say there's so many.
There goes our history, basically.
Yusuf earlier spoke about the negatives and the positives, and we're really trying to be very objective about our approach. And not just say no because we feel like it. We've been objective, and on all the presentations we received, the negatives totally outweigh any positives. And if you look at the agricultural side, the human side, the effect on the human side, the effect on our properties, it's going to have a massive implication on us. And at the end of the day, what do us as citizens of this area going to achieve and benefit?
Just to add on that, sorry, Darryl,
yes,
just to add on that, we have nature conservancies around in the Vaal.
Yes.
We have, you spoke about the Redan heritage. You've got the Redan rock art sculptures that's there, right? That area is dolomitic at the moment, okay? And from what we understand, a lot of small holdings depend on borehole water. So if the mine is going to come up there,
It's going to be polluted.
It's going to contaminate that water. It's actually going to probably flow into the Vaal River at some point in time, and then eventually you probably find the Vaal River as well contaminated with, with the coal contaminants.
So together with the sewage and the coal contaminants, we're going to have a very strange-looking Vaal River after a while.
An article that I read, I think it was in the Daily Maverick, that talked about the Vaal being the first highly polluted area in the world. I'm not sure how far that's true, but here you've got another company that's probably adding to that pollution.
Okay. These are powerful companies. We're going to be rounding this off. These are powerful companies. Do we stand a chance at all? Is daar regtig soort van 'n maanskyn en rose hierso voor ons?
I think, Darryl, since I got involved in this Coal-ition Committee, what how Yusuf called themselves,
Yes.
I sense such a desire to act on the people that do not have a voice.
Right.
So, there's one of the questions that was raised at our meeting the other day in Rosny, was, do we stand a chance? Of course we stand a chance, and we see it all over the world, where normal people, normal guys from the street stand up and say, we don't approve. Whether we need to be an Brockowitz standing in front of a grader, then we will have to do it.
Right.
But and remember, we've got a responsibility towards our grandkids.
Yeah.
We don't want them one day to say, "Opa, grandfather, you didn't do anything to protect us." So we've got a moral obligation to go out there and protect the future of our kids.
How do you do that? Where do they go? What do they do? Who do they call? Let's get active.
Well, firstly, we're trying to create an awareness
Right.
amongst the Vaal residents, not only the Vaal, people around Walkerville, Didier, you're looking at maybe perhaps Alberton, Henley on Klip, you're looking at Van der Bijl Park, and maybe Parys, wherever, we can find Sasolburg. We can find, let's create an awareness, step number one. Number two, we need to start lodging objections individually and collectively.
All right.
To the DMRE and to Glue Bay. They do have a website and email address. We can start posting, because by law they're obliged to send those objections through to the DMRE. And all we're saying, let's create a stockpile. Instead of coal that's being considered, create a stockpile of paperwork for DMRE to have a look at and consider the plight of the residents. Rather put lives before profits, or before anything else, because lives matter, and that's quite important.
All lives matter.
Exactly.
As well. Yes.
Yeah, I think this is exactly what Yusuf said. At the end of the day, this is our phase one. There's certain phases that already been completed. Like I said, Yusuf and his team is already part of this from 2019, opposing that. So there is a lot already, a stockpile, but they can never be enough. And we would like residents in certain areas, for example, like VBC will mobilize the business entity. So we already registered as an affected party on this opposition. So that's what residents need to do. Proudly Through Rivers need to say, we're going to be together. At the end of the day, we're going to create a committee with all different stakeholders, and we're going to have strategies and processes in place to take it further.
So will this be ahead of what actually is happening there? Is anything happening at the moment? They're not surveying or anything like that?
No, look, currently they're in the draft EIA stage.
Okay.
The next stage is a final EIA stage,
Yes.
where I assume the public will be given an opportunity for public hearing. And then there's a few other steps before it goes to the DMRE actually endorsing the application and issuing the license. And the last stage is an appeal stage, where we can actually appeal, but that's going to be quite a costly and a prolonged process to appeal that. However, we appeal to the residents, register as interested and affected parties, lodge your objections, join the Coal-ition Committee, and let's fight this together. Even if you have to get community activism involved, let's rather do it now rather than later.
Here you go. Klippies?
Yeah, I think that in the Vaal, we've got already have the SEZ, the Special Economic Zone, which this mine is not part of.
Okay.
So there's so many development processes, and I actually had a presentation earlier this week, last week, in Vereeniging, of all all the good things that are happening, new business, the mitochondria fuel cell system. We see the development of the Vaal River City development, starting with the roads here on the barrage road. So there's a logistical hub, the Erythropolis. There's a lot of developments already in the Vaal that will benefit us. And from VBC side and from our side, we don't need this.
Okay.
We don't need it.
There we
As
go.
business, we don't need this.
We don't need it. Yusuf, thank you so much for coming through. Let this be the first of many little chats that we're going to have. Klippies yourself.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much, Klippies. Bye.
That
bye,
was just the
donkey.
last year. I think,
Yes.
Yusuf, can I give you a number with your permission?
Yes, please.
Okay, go for it.
Just ask people just to send Yusuf SMS or WhatsApp
Oh, what's up, yeah?
on 082
082
450
450
4729.
4729.
And just request him to put you on the coalition group, and he will add you on the group so you will get the necessary information and references where you can oppose this.
on the coalition group, which is 082 450 4729. Ek herhaal dit weer, dis 082 450 4729. There it is. Let this be the first of many. Let's keep in contact here.
Dank
Let's keep
u.
in contact. Thank you
Dank-
so
dank
much.
u, meneer.
There we go. Thank you.
Tot
Dit was nie alledaagse begrafnis